IMF recently claimed that India's import tariffs, some of which are as high as 50%, could remain indefinite. And within hours, the Indian government rejected this outright. But why? Why is India pushing back? Why did IMF make that statement? And what does this mean for our economy, inflation, manufacturing, and global trade relationship? I will break down the whole story simply, clearly, and without the noise. So you understand exactly what this IMF versus India debate is really about. So, what did IMF actually say? In its latest assessment, IMF suggested that India's import tariff levels, which in some categories go up to 50%, may effectively remain in place for long term. Now, IMF believes that India is moving towards a more protectionist stance. That is, higher tariffs, local manufacturing push, reduced reliance on imports. So, IMF's tone implied these tariffs might continue permanently, and that is what triggered the India's response. So, why did India reject this claim? The Indian government clarified its position immediately. Tariffs are not indefinite, tariff decisions are dynamic and need based. India adjusts import duties depending on inflation, domestic supply, global conditions, industry requirement. India has already reduced duties in many sectors recently. The government's key argument was tariffs will not be permanent, they will continue to evolve with economic needs. So this was not just clarification, this was a strategic message to the world. Why does IMF care about India's tariff? Because India is the fastest growing major economy. If India keeps tariffs high, imports drop, local industry gets stronger. Global companies must produce inside India. Exporting countries lose market share. Global supply chain shift. IMF, which prefers low tariff global trade, gets concerned because India's strategy disrupts older trade models. IMF wants globally free flowing trade. India wants local resilience and self reliance. The ideological clash is the real story. So why are India's tariff high in the first place? India uses tariffs as a strategic tool. First is to protect the domestic industries, electronics, EVs, solar components, defense parts. India wants local manufacturing. Second is reducing import dependency, especially from China. Third is controlling inflation. Sometimes lower duties help bringing the prices down. Fourth is boosting Make in India. High tariffs push companies like Apple, Tesla, Samsung, and global EV players to manufacture in India. Fifth is creating jobs. Local production means more employment. And the sixth is increasing negotiation power. High tariffs give India leverage in trade negotiations. This is strategic economics, not random protectionism. So, what happens if India keeps tariffs high? There are pros and cons to it. So, when we come to the pros, there will be more manufacturing in India that will lead to more jobs, that will lead to lower dependency on foreign countries, that will lead to stronger local industries and more FDI. For example, Tesla is entering India. And cons, there will be many cons as well. Some imported goods become expensive, higher input cost for MSMEs, there will be price rise for consumers, there's a risk of global pushback. So this is a balancing act and India is working it carefully. Now, does this affect inflation? Yes, but in a complex way. High tariffs can push the prices up. Reduced import dependency can stabilize the prices. Domestic manufacturing lowers long-term inflation risk. Global supply chains getting disrupted changes the cost structure. So, India says that tariff decisions are adjusted based on inflation trends, not fixed forever. So, what will happen next? Here is what we can expect. Tariffs will drop in sectors where India builds strong domestic capacity. Tariff will stay high where India wants to reduce China's dependence. Some tariffs may rise temporarily if the global prices surge. Free trade agreements may reduce duties in specified sectors. India will remain flexible, not indefinite, not permanent. This is India playing a long term strategic game. So, IMF looks at India through the lens of a global trade. India looks at itself through the lens of long term resilience. The debate is not about tariffs, it's about India choosing growth on its own term. If you want India's biggest policy and economic decision simplified daily, hit subscribe. I break down every major update in a way everyone can understand. Thank you.